Imagine a transformed Nigeria. Imagine a decentralized democracy. Imagine an industrial base with sufficient jobs. Imagine an agricultural base with food security. Imagine a decent livelihood. Imagine justice, peace, prosperity for all. Nigeria for Nigerians. Imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023. A progressive leader, a freedom fighter, a nation builder. Asiwaju knew. The difference is clear. Asiwaju is here. This message is brought to you by BAT Vanguard, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for President. Support Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023.
It's 11 o'clock, live and direct from the Baltimore City, and my name still remains Oguntoyinbo Stephen, and you are live on Asiwaju Radio. This is a radio that is set to propagate Asiwaju's legacy. And while we run to, I would like to say congratulations to Asiwaju again for that tremendous victory at the last APC primaries. And yesterday we had a very interesting day where we had guests cut across different sectors. We're here to dialogue about the role of young people towards the 2023 election. And today is going to be a very interesting day as we're going to have, and I'm so happy, women take the lead. And we're going to be having the women leader of the APC with us on the show. And I'm going to be having also another guest in person of Mr. Akondeojo, who will be joining us from Lagos anyway. And we're still going to be, like I said to you, we're going to be having a lot of us. We're going to be joining people who are going to call us live on air. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on our radio, which is www.asiwajuradio.com. And we're streaming on almost all the platforms. And you can please just go on our Twitter handle and like our Twitter handle it's at Asiwaju Radio. Please just go on our Twitter handle and you can subscribe on our YouTube channel also, which is Asiwaju Radio. And like I said to you, today promises to be a very interesting day. And then we're going to be having our guest who is going to be joining us live on air. Today we're just going to go for a short dance here, a short song by which is a vibe of Nigerian songs, and then a mix of Nigerian songs before we have our guests join us on air, and then we go for a short commercial break in between, and we're expecting our guests to join us live on air, and we'll have a very interesting conversation with her this great afternoon. My name still remains Stephen Ogutoyinbo. You can call us on the number showing on your screen right now.
It no go make sense if you don't know the journey. I did do I promise mommy, but man got no worries. Was like yesterday. Mama tell me can wise up. Anytime I fall, I go rise up. She say no be good look or stature. All this stuff I know. Anyhow with me, I got face my face, can't run from it. No stopping.
I don't stop. I need to stop. My light is never gonna go fire any dead food. My light is forever gonna shine. Before they don't know me for my area. Now I be hero to the guys. Because I came out to a conquer. My light is forever gonna shine. I just want to chill every day like ice water. Go cruise every day on top water. Nobody go borrow you umbrella on your rainy day. So I find the money, go where the money day. Every day I put my phone on D&D. Flight mode, now money be the ginger me. Every day I am sipping my alcohol. Every day I am sipping my alcohol. Let's talk Kalakuta, Betty Mama Sita, sipping my dadita, but the titi at Rita. Girls in a yard shaking bomb in the tongue. Call every day like I don't give a fuck.
I'm so deed of my bro, I'm sorry. It's no money, don't come. It's been a long way coming. It no go make sense if you don't know the journey. I did do I promise mommy, but man got no worries.
Hey, I need to stop. I need to stop. My light is never gonna die. Gonna go fire any dead food. My light is forever gonna shine. Before they don't know me for my area. Now I be hero to the guys. Because I came out to a conquer. My light is forever gonna shine. Let's talk, Kalakuta, pressing on my sister, sipping margarita, quality activita. Girls in the yard, shaking bomb in the tongue. All every day, like I don't give a fuck.
I'm so deed of my bro, I'm sorry. If no money don't come in, it's been a long way coming. It no go make sense if you don't know the journey. I did do I promise mommy, but man got no worries. I'm so deed of my bro, I'm sorry. If no money don't come in, it's been a long way coming. It no go make sense if you don't know the journey. I did do I promise
Well, if you want challenge me direct. Not be the one you go through Kana. Not they go through Kana. Talk to me straight, not they go through Kana.
This guy one day from my package. No go try I be savage.
I know they play with my baby. I know they play with my lover. I know they play with my baby. I feel releasing my daughter. Yeah, she's my girl. Since I've been falling, this one I'm dying for. She's the best to compare. Her smile is for me. For this girl, I'll shoot and run. Hey, make you no cross my lane, make you no cross my lane, make you no cross my lane, brother. Make it just stay at there, make it just stay your lane, make it just stay your lane.
It's just 7 minutes past the hour of 11. We're reaching you live and direct from the Baltimore City, and you're still live on Asiwaju Radio. And like I said, we're expecting some of our guests, and HSO is here. Is always prompt on time. So I would like to say to you that for some of you who are listening to us live on air, is 8 minutes past the hour of 4 in Lagos. And it's like 8 minutes past the hour of 11. That's 5 hours. 5 hours time difference. We still go back for that short musical break, and we'll be right back after the short musical break. We take our commercial break, and then we have our guest in the studio.
Brother, oh my dear, oh the very way, oh my dear, oh the very way, oh my dear, oh the very way. Oh my dear,
I beg you, sir. Okay. Now, I went there. I saw carry yourself dramatic. I know from you still they look at the back. I never make any pass. I never keep at the lamp, and even though she give me the high, I never take my chance. I still they look at the car, but I know go fit they do like I used to make the two shakara. Sure, you say you want to show my power. Today, not today, you go feel my.
So you are enjoying yourself, have you?
Get in the eyes, make a capitalize. Get in love, you say I deal with my guys, I'm feeling nice, and I know they like to carry my size.
Oh my dear, oh the very way, oh my dear, oh the very way, oh my dear, oh the very way, oh my dear, oh the very way. I know they play with my baby, I know they play with my love. If I catch you, no go funny.
Number one, DJ Jojo.
So we're still live and direct from Baltimore City. We're still live and direct from on Asiwaju Radio. Today we promise to have a very interesting conversation with our top national woman leader in person of Miss Betty. We're still expecting her in the studio, and our HSO is right on time in the studio always. And I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us live. He's joining us live and direct from Abuja City. And like I said, we'll just go for a short break again, and we'll go back to our music. We like to talk about our leader, our great leader, a leader with good legacy, in person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We go for that short break, now again, and then we will be right back.
Imagine a transformed Nigeria. Imagine a decentralized democracy. Imagine an industrial base with sufficient jobs. Imagine an agricultural base with food security. Imagine a decent livelihood. Imagine justice, peace, prosperity for all. Nigeria for Nigerians. Imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria 2023. A progressive leader, a freedom fighter, a nation builder. Asiwaju knew. The difference is clear. Asiwaju is here. This message is brought to you by BAT Vanguard, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for president. Support Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria 2023. Imagine a transformed Nigeria. Imagine a decentralized democracy. Imagine an industrial base with sufficient jobs. Imagine an agricultural base with food security. Imagine a decent livelihood. Imagine justice, peace, prosperity for all. Nigeria for Nigerians. Imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria 2023. A progressive leader, a freedom fighter, a nation builder. Asiwaju knew. The difference is clear. Asiwaju is here. This message is brought to you by BAT Vanguard, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for president. Support Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria 2023.
Live on air this great afternoon. Would like to say that for some of you who are watching, who are listening or watching us live in any part of the world, you can call us on the number showing on the screen, 862-3673-616. We would be having a very interesting conversation about the role the role women play in politics. And Miss Betty, who is the women leader for the APC will be doing justice to this. And then we have the men on the support, HSO always, that will be joining us live. HSO, we're still expecting Miss Betty in the studio. And so what can you say are the peculiarity of women in politics, as you as the father in the house? So do you think women play a vital role in Nigerian politics? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. HSO, are you there? Mr. Konde Ojo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No, your mic is muted.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you, yes. I can, yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. I can hear you.
But can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you.
HSO, can you hear me? HSO, we can't hear you, HSO. HSO, we can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Maybe
HSO, can you go out and come in?
Maybe it might be.
Can you go out and come in?
Hello, how about now?
Yes, I think I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
We can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so I guess we can start now. While we're waiting for Miss Betty to join us live in the studio. So I was asking you, do you think Asiwaju knows the very... do you think there's going to be a balancing equation in terms of women representation in come 2020, 2023? Do you think there's going to be balance in terms of gender representation in his cabinet?
Yeah, certainly. I think so, and I strongly believe so, because if you understand the ways, the tenets of politicking as what you have been used to, it always make provision for women in politics. I can remember vividly why he has been working for Lagos governorship. So people who have become governors in Lagos, he has always made sure that they have their deputy governor as a woman to take position of deputy governors in Lagos. And in coming administration, I'm quite confident that it's going to ensure that women play key and active role in the administration. Then I also know of the fact that one of his statements has always been "Kosi Obirin Kosibo," which means no woman, no vote. So he believed that women play key roles, they play important roles in politics. Without women, the politics will not be swift, will not be robust. So I strongly believe that come 2023, women are going to take key positions They are going to get actively involved, and he is going to put them in, giving them a good, responsibilities. That's what I believe.
Mr. Akonde, I guess you also, I know you're also a party member. So, what do you think is the importance of women in politics as a whole?
Well, thank you so much. I'm not a politician, but I know I'm familiar with the strategy. I'm a strategist and I'm a consultant based in the US. I'm familiar with the Nigerian political environment. I strongly believe that first and foremost, the control. Women tend to have the highest percentage of our population, even in America here. So when you alienate women or women are not involved in politics, it's difficult for you to really understand the role of women and motherhood in the long run, because they have to participate for them to understand, for us men to understand some of the challenges women are facing. So I think that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown that over time. If you look at some of his appointments, as a governor, and also two subsequent governors in Lagos State too, and that in terms of so I know we still have a way to go as a country, but I think that the awareness is there that women should play strategic roles too. If you look at it in Nigeria, Minister for Finance, former Minister for Environment, Minister of State for Transportation, Saraki, Minister Saraki, and the likes of them, they are ministers. Minister of State for Trade and Investment, Ambassador, what's her name again? Yeah, the current Minister of Trade, Minister of State for Trade and Investment. You see, many of them, like, they are women, and if Minister for Women Affairs too. So if I start counting at the federal level too, it's a reflection. But like I said, we need to carry our women along in our policy making. So
That's what I'm going on to talk.
So, carrying women along in terms of policy making is very, very important. And also, I wanted to know if, like, these are the questions I always ask. And the reason why this radio, this is the first time Mr. Ojo is joining us. In few words, what can you say if you looking at you studying who Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, what exactly comes to your mind when you hear the name Asiwaju?
For me, honestly speaking, Bola Tinubu, I like to say someone's name in a respectful way. BAT, let me just say BAT is that is a fighter, and if you look at his background, coming from Nadeco, so it's not something that is just jumping to overnight and say I want to be president. Like any company, I don't think any global company today started overnight. They started 25 years, 30 years ago. And for me, I think that is someone, I believe in him. There are so many challenges that he's going to face. I believe his outreach to our core brothers in the north will really help a lot. And I also believe that Tinubu is someone that it does very well when you count him out. It does very well when you count him out. Even I don't think in this modern day politics, I'm not trying to say because I'm on this show. I don't think there's any politician in this modern day that has weathered any betrayal or any storms more than Bola Tinubu. I don't think so. I mean, this is my own personal opinion. That's where I see him, and I see him as a uniter, a unifier, as someone that is more of he has a growth mindset. In terms of where the direction of country should be. It's not someone that will get it today and start trying to figure out how to work with National Assembly. It doesn't need that. So if from day one, it should be able to hit the ground running. And that is one of the reasons that I'm personally, and our organization that we started so many years ago, that we are taking these bold steps.
Okay, let me ask you, what are those reform recommendations if you were supposed to meet with Asiwaju today? What are to be on the advisory board? What are your strong recommendations? And I'm going to start in different sectors here. Uh, One is some sectors that you see that have collapsed over years, even with PDP and even with any of the leaders who have come into power. What are your strong recommendations, that you give to Asiwaju in terms of educational reform? If you were supposed to sit down, seeing that you've been in this part of the world and you've seen the way education is, looking at technical education, which is very important. The US government don't joke with technical education. So, what are your strong recommendations that you can give in terms of, let's say women and social development? I'm going to go to women and social development too, and then I have HSO also talk. I'm still going to go to that also. But in terms of educational reform, and what are your strong recommendations you like to give?
Okay, thank you. Let me answer the first. Your question came in two parts. The first part is electricity is the key to industrialization. And then infrastructure, even in America here, if you go to Texas, they're always building roads. They never stop building infrastructure. So even for developed countries, they don't stop. So I know that Asiwaju mentioned during his during the interview at the presidential primaries. He said that he brought in Aaron, trying to work with Aaron to build power projects in Nigeria. Believe me sincerely, infrastructure cannot work without electricity. And electricity cannot actually be positioned when there are no other supporting infrastructures. So education is also part of national building. So for me, one aspect is Artisan Academy, which America utilized when they were coming out of the Great Depression. This was a strategy that was started from the Germans during Hitler. Artisan, I'll be honest with you, in this country, you can have your bachelor's degree without actually going through a secondary school program here. You start training skill sets and then you do your GC, and all kind of program they have here, and take some remedial classes and gradually go through the artisanship program they have here. Artisan Academy is where what we need, actually we need to invest in. I bet university, college is not for everybody. That's why we are being mistaken in Nigeria. Those roadside guys, mechanic, carpenter, trust me, they are the future of your economy. We have to incorporate them into our main economy and then give them necessary skill sets to be able to offer quality in terms of their ability to deliver. Connect them to industries. What I'm saying here is not just talking. Because personally, from my experience, I worked for many corporate Americans before I started my consultancy business, and also US government, General Electric, Wells Fargo, and rest of them. So I can tell you that if we don't encourage artisanship, we are only, most of our graduates, let me be honest with you, how many of them are employable? If you want to be honest, with the current situation in Nigeria, let us be honest. How many of our graduates in Nigeria are employable? If you employ them, you still have to teach them, train them like a secondary school people to know what you need to do, because the school system didn't prepare them. So Asiwaju needs to really work to really allow technology innovation, entrepreneurial spirit. When I'm saying artisanship, I'm talking about entrepreneurial spirit. I myself, I consult for Dubai World Trade Center and technology and all that. And I can tell you some of the things that we have brought into Nigeria in terms of startup ecosystem to get a lot of young innovators from Nigeria in the ICT ecosystem. Actually, we are doing some with Lagos State too. So those are the things we need to spread across our secondary education, actually primary education. Because once you get to the age of 16, you're already formed as a person. Everything is experience curve. So for us in Nigeria, most of our kids, our children, let me use our children and kids, they miss that foundation. And at the university level, that is where we're trying to make a already bended crayfish, smoked fish, trying to straighten a smoked fish to become flat. We got it wrong. So for me, at this level, because education has to be well funded, not just putting money in campuses, but by trying to look at it, has to be customized locally. Lagos State is good for services, and so many artisan programs. In the north, agriculture might be a good artisan program. You see, every state is unique, just like in America, every state is unique. So Lagos State is different from Borno State or Kogi State. Kogi with steel industry, Enugu has coal. So in a nutshell, I think that we need to identify human capacity, ability in each state. But if you look at our educational system, everything is so generalized. If I ask you a question, sir, how many do you think, if you are looking for farmers in Lagos State, how many university students can go into farming? If I ask you that question, most of them are not interested because they don't see farmlands in Lagos. You see beautiful houses in Ikoyi, Lekki, all those places. But if you go further north, they see a lot of farmlands. So the environment dictates how you really appreciate your own contribution. So let me just, for now, so that I will allow Honorable to make some input as well.
So, Honorable, what are your strong recommendations? We've been talking about recommendation over the week while we start this program in terms of women development. What do you think can be done better in terms of women development right now? And you already spoke about the inclusion of women in governance, in offices. So, what can you say about women development, healthcare for women, access to healthcare for women? Are you there?
I think we might have lost it. Okay, it's back. Yeah, it may be network. Yeah.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So looking at the mortality rate that we have right now, what are your strong recommendations in terms of healthcare for women, access to healthcare for women?
Well, I would say that is very important. It's pertinent to any nation development. It's not only for women. Access care generally for every one of us is very important. The administration needs to look into how they can put a viable and easy accessibility to health care, especially for maternity rates that is increasing drastically. Because if you look at it critically now, the population, women population. Hello, can you hear me there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, if you look at the women population is increasing geometrically, and like in somewhere in Zimbabwe, so the president made pronunciation that a man must marry up to 6 women before you can even be considered married. And this one, if you don't marry 6 women, there's going to be penalty. It's either you go to jail. So that's to show you how critical it has gone when it comes to issue of women. So in order for us to encourage these people, in order for us to make them feel comfortable with the society, they need their need for access health care. Okay, so this is what we've been looking at, and also to making a conducive atmosphere. I mean, conducive environment for women to triumph. You know, we look at the fact that women graduate from schools and there's no job. The government has to make provision for job, and not only the government making provision for job. You see, just like what Mr. Ojo has said, there is need to incorporate them into artisans development. You see, it's not enough to just go to school. But when you are graduating from school, you need not depending on government jobs. You need to be, imbibed in the entrepreneurial skill that you have acquired from school and dabble into something that you can do. We'll look at in our society today also, it is time for us to also incorporate this the manual jobs like the artisans jobs, like a organizer, there's a way you can incorporate it into technology and integrate both of them. You see, at the end of the day, people just drive into a well constructed workshop to fix their car, and they put it on computer, and then the computer does everything. This is it's unlike the conventional way we've been doing it before, that you have to use your physical strength to jack a tire before it can be replaced. So all these things, you don't need to be a graduate to do them. And you see, I also look at women these days as well. I don't understand whether it's Nigerian mentality or it's general mentality. They don't want to work. The lot of them have gone so AWR to the extent that they resort into the easiest way making money. And if the male youths are not going to Yahoo or whatever, the male girls, they're going into prostitution or just using their body to get what they want. You see the graduates coming out of school, you even offer them job, they can't do anything in that office. I have a lot of graduates that I've employed. After giving them the adequate training, all they do is sitting down and be expecting salaries. And how can the company grow like that? So a lot of things, a lot of factors have to be put in place. We need to have a complete sensitization of our people, of our women, giving them access to, like I said, it's not enough giving them access to healthcare. But also making them to be useful for the society is parochial, is pertinent. So that is where I'm going to stop on that topic. A lot needs to be done. And how do we do that? We need people like Asiwaju. I know Asiwaju is a great person, is a man who can actually extract talent. All he needs to do is to just have a conversation with you. He knows what you can do. Like he said it several times, sometimes when he travel out of the country to the US or United Kingdom, he brings in people from there, to those who are Nigeria and who have seen how they are intelligent and pro-ways, and he has seen how they've been able to contribute positively in the nation where they are. He advised them to come back. I've seen several of them that have returned to Nigeria, and they are doing well and contributing positively into the society today. So Asiwaju is a man like that. I'm not saying the intellect lies in people abroad, okay? But I know for sure that he's a man that wants to provide solutions to every problem. It may not be completely a success in every aspect, but I know he's a man that put on his best. He put his best to achieve a result. So I'm quite confident that by the time he becomes the president, the issue of security, economic development,
I guess we
it's the network, Nigerian network.
Okay, yes. So I wanted to ask a question from you, but before I ask that question, I will go on a short break, and then I can have you again to ask you this question after this short break.
Okay, thank you.
Imagine a transformed Nigeria. Imagine a decentralized democracy. Imagine an industrial base with sufficient jobs. Imagine an agricultural base with food security. Imagine a decent livelihood. Imagine justice, peace, prosperity for all. Nigeria for Nigerians. Imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023. A progressive leader, a a freedom fighter, a nation builder. Asiwaju. The difference is clear. Asiwaju is here. This message is brought to you by BAT Vanguard, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for President. Support Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023.
So I'm going to ask a question for Mr. Konde Ojo. How do we encourage women to go out there and vote? Voters' education is very important, but how do we encourage women to go out there and vote?
Sorry, first, in practical, most likely, in most cases, you need women against women. That's the rule of thumb. Women are much easier to convince themselves. Secondly, we need to really, for instance, Honorable made some points. Let me just mention that affordable health care, even in this America here, it's not perfect, but affordable health care has to be channeled towards facility for women. And when we see, women are kind of voters that they don't need so much for them to embrace you. Even in this America here, you can see they talk about abortion, little things that you might take for granted in Nigeria. So we need to really educate our women. But if you have to go into the northern part too, because the women in the south and north, they are different in terms of their engagement strategy. I think that we need to encourage them in the area of farming artisanship, like we talk about. Encourage women to go into farming, and then talking about farming opportunities, and then what are some of the benefits that they stand to benefit in this current administration, this current and upcoming administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think that we need to do more of door-to-door outreach. We need to get a lot of women talking more about women issues, because most of the time when you look at most of these campaign topics, all of them talking about electricity, about this, about that, about Boko Haram. Women like to hear, they want to hear more about security. And then security, most times women care so much about security. Because on that election, some of them might not show up. They're thinking that something bad is going to happen to them. So we need to let them know that security is important, and also to protection for women in our society too. We need to address the issue of all these domestic violence, rape issues, and all that. I think when women started hearing those kind of conversations, I think they'll be more keen to vote for that woman. Even in America here, you see that you talk about little things about women's right to choose, and people go and vote. And they don't even pay attention to talking about so many other important things about whether the Nasdaq stock market is going up and down. So a lot of women, they don't care. But when you talk about women issues, I think it's one of the areas that I think these DAT campaign organizers or strategists should look at. We need to hire more women to join this campaign. And sincerely speaking, I've not been seeing a lot of women, apart from party leaders. I've not been seeing a lot of women NGOs out there talking more about, voters registration, taking these registrations to them, making an arrangement for them for pick up and drop off to the voting centers. Even in America, they do that here too. Those are the things that can really encourage our women, So I think in that area, it's not too late, because we are still about 6-7 months to the election. So we can begin to address those things by trying to recruit more women. And especially in the north, you need women. I'll be honest with you, because you cannot be going to a woman's house to knock on it. We need more women they don't have to be political party shifting. They have to be individuals in those communities. I think, to me, that is the way we can measure this. And I remember when Barack Obama was running, I'm not really a party person, but I worked for Barack Obama in Iowa when it was relatively unknown back then. And I knew what we did when we were going door to door to convince those white Americans, mostly Iowa is mostly one of the whitest states in America, that to convince them to vote for a black person. Some of them said that it was a Muslim, it was this. So we had to do a lot of door to door. So the same thing with women. With women, they don't hear issues about women. They see it as if it's just the same politics. So I think BAT has the opportunity to change the narratives now.
So I wanted to ask Mr. HSO, what are your strong recommendations in terms of grassroots politics, grassroots mobilization? Because I think there are some places, the riverine areas and so-called, how do we create that sensitization to their doorstep, and how do we also do the grassroots mobilization? HSO.
Thank you very much, Stephen. You're doing a very great job, and so going back to your point, every politics is grassroots. Okay, so for us to have a landslide victory at the upcoming election, we need to mobilize to the nook and crannies of the country. We have to go deep into the grassroots, the local government, the ward, even including the polling units. So that is what we've been doing. We've done our mapping. We're working on the mapping and the topography. So to be able to apportion canvassers in each polling unit. I mean, these are the strategies we're putting in place, and I will not really want to divulge it right now for the sake of, you know, uh, we don't know those who are watching us before they go and, the easiest thing to do in Nigeria is to actually copyright people's projects
I know.
and take the glory for themselves. So I will keep that for a later day. So in albeit it is important, and the grassroots mobilization will be doing it, and we're going to continue to build on it and ensure that every house, every home is touched. We're going to have also house to house campaign. So all those things have been put in place because in politics, especially when it comes to general election, the most important and key aspect of the election is to have the ability to be able to mobilize grassroots voters.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like what we have discovered recently, is that the number we have over 10 million youths who have come out, to get their PVC. I mean, these people, as at last year, maybe they were not 18.
Yes.
The part of people who were not 18 as at last year,
Yeah.
and also people who have been very, very undecided when it comes to issue of election. But recently they became aware of the reason to vote in an election. So definitely those people they have come out in a mass. They have come out en mass to actually get their PVC. Okay, and they are going to be coming out to vote. So definitely you need to sensitize. You need to reach out to people like that. Otherwise, if you don't do that, the next thing you're going to get is a shocker.
Yes.
So we don't want to leave anything for uncertainty. Okay, so we're going to put every stone, to reach every part of the electorates. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I guess we have Essie. Essie has a contrary opinion to what we are saying. He said those people working in my office don't like to work. And he said 10, no, okay. I'm seeing a comment here. And I told her to come live. You would like to join, we'll give you the access key. She said she has a contrary opinion. So if you have a contrary opinion, just let us know. AC, I'm calling you out. So you can come and join the conversation. I will send you the access key now. So if you want to join the live conversation, we'd like to have your live conversation in 15 minutes before we round up the show. Back to politics, and I want to ask Mr. Konde. I know Mr. Konde is not a politician, politician. So, Mr. Kone, if you were meant to sit down face to face with come by God's grace, or inshallah, we by which we know by God's grace we have our incoming leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president, and Marge as the president of for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you're supposed to be on the advisory committee, what are your 7 recommendations? We are getting recommendations from people over the week, but we want to hear what are your own 7 recommendations as a strong national pillar in terms of development. Mr. Ojo, you have the floor.
Oh, this is an unprepared question, but I will just mention some few things. If I can get up to 7, but I know you don't need 7 to solve the problem. So one is a national reconciliation engagement. That is whether it's PDP, APC, PDP. Try to make sure that all Nigerians, we are to bridge that so-called North, South, East, all this Biafra, whatever, to see the reason why it's an all-inclusive government. Secondly, I think you need to declare state of emergency on power, maybe electricity, I don't know what they call it. That one is strategic. I can tell you something, the reason why you are bringing from Kaduna to Lagos that is so expensive because of infrastructure. So when people have storage where they can store things, of course they'll buy in large quantity and then they can preserve them for weeks. Bringing tomatoes from the north, getting to Lagos, the maximum you have is maybe 1 week to maintain that freshness in that hot weather. So that is why it needs to address that. Declare state of emergency on power, state of emergency on food and security. What this I'm saying to you is a template that I'm to some extent I've been a little bit privileged to work on here in the US here. Another one is state of emergency on education. We need to allow this university system to operate independently. Just like we give licenses, we liberalize the telecom sector. You and I knew it was difficult when they started charging 500 per minute, when they first started 400 per minute. But today, it's everywhere. Even a market woman has 2 phones. She can load data. So that's the same thing. Educational system cannot work if you don't allow the system to be independent from all this ASU strike. The other one is what I see is youth spend more time on health. Declare state of emergency on health by looking at affordable health care. This is what they have in the US, and it can be customized state by state level. Lagos State is huge, so that one. So I think I've mentioned quite a few. And then the other one might be to really look at, declare, war against indiscipline. Actually, that one should come first, because I've been to so many countries recently. I can see that in as much that they are not as educated as Nigerians, but you can see that the environment is clean. Rwanda, those countries, they are clean. So you can see the level of organization, just like Dubai. So war against indiscipline. People walk around in Nigeria and throw things on the ground everywhere. So I think that is that one. That one is unique. Sensitization of our population, the need to see ourselves as Nigerians, and then also to transparency. Those things, they might not sound as they are. To me, they are part of every government, also part of every society. So they are not in a particular order, but it depends on the level of commitment of the administration. But those things I mentioned to you, those that have been the bedrock of America development. No matter America is trying to go left and right with so many turbulences, they always come out stronger because of those things that I mentioned. So, but we can now discuss them one at a time, go more in depth. And I remember when they had this housing crisis, when I was at West Fargo, they introduced a 3 steps approach that time. 2 million Americans lost their homes. Obama came up with 3 steps, just 1 page. Are you a homeowner? Yes. Is this your primary home? Yes. They just finance you automatically from 12% interest rate to practically 0% or 2%. So instead of you paying so much, looking for $3,000, $4,000 every month, they give you time, maybe 6 months to 1 year, just cool off. Get some incentive with no interest. So at the end of the day, we save so many homeowners. It's just one page. It's called 3 steps approach. So that's why I say that these are just 7 core areas, but it can be broken down into 3 steps, which I believe His Excellency Asiwaju Babatuna, BAT. I know in school in America, I live here. So what I'm saying, I'm not trying to preach to the pastor, but he knows very well that those are the things that have been the foundation of any developed countries.
I know we've had so much of recommendations over the time from HSO, but we'll just go for the last commercial break, and we'll be right back after that short break.
Imagine a transformed Nigeria. Imagine a decentralized democracy. Imagine an industrial base with sufficient jobs. Imagine an agricultural base with food security. Imagine a decent livelihood. Imagine justice, peace, prosperity for all. Nigeria for Nigerians. Imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria 2023. A progressive leader, a freedom fighter, a nation builder. Asiwaju knew. The difference is clear. Asiwaju is here. This message is brought to you by BAT Vanguard, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for president. Support Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria 2023.
Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a very great time to have everybody here on the show. And I'd like to say thank you, HSO. Thank you also, Mr. Akonde Ojo, for... I wanted Mr. Akonde Ojo to tell us more about the organization. So before I go to the round-up question from HSO, I would like to tell us where you guys are based. I know you're based in Brooklyn.
Actually, I'm a director of organizer for the organization. It's called it started back in 1999 or so. It's called the Committee of Concerned Lagos Islanders, and it was designed for developing and bringing out leadership qualities among members and non-members alike, with special emphasis on political participation and other area of human endeavors, where effective and efficient leadership is required for successful operations. So when this was founded, one of our core members actually was Honorable Wahab Wale Alawiye King. So, and some other people too that have joined. And then we realized that as part of our strategic leadership goals, we are putting all kinds of activities that can assist in facilitating the actualization of presidential action of our great Asiwaju in 2023. So on September 2nd, I'm busy in Michigan, but that is taking place in New York, Brooklyn, New York. So we are the primary focus of the event is to highlight some of the accomplishments of BAT, and also thereby communicating the fact that is the only most qualified candidate to steer the wheels of Nigeria this critical moment in our nation history. So that we believe that he will be able to repeat, is ready to repeat the same feat at the federal level, what he did while he was the governor of Lagos State, where he brought Lagos out of financial crisis by way of enhancing the internal generated revenue of Lagos State and human capacity development. Also, too, so this September 2nd, we are looking to invite people. We are also looking for collaboration with your organization as well. Other people that are out there. It's September 2nd on Dean and Atlantic Avenue. There's a place called the Nigerian American Muslim Community Center there. So we are bringing like-minded people to come and really share with them what they need to know about Tinubu, because there are so many stories out there that people don't know. So this is what we are offering, and we're going to be sharing more as time as things unfold. So if you need more information, that these days collaboration is very important. And then honorable too, people can come. We are looking at about 200 to 500 people, hopefully. So looking to gather, and I believe Asiwaju is also planning to come to the US. So we need to really share the story, let people know about what he has. Because what you read about him, in most cases, is not what people know about him. And because it is normal for people to find a way to blackmail you, no matter what. Somebody said, "Oh, it doesn't even go to." I was talking to one guy. I don't want to be tribalistic. He said, "Oh, this guy didn't even go to secondary school and he wanted to become the president." So, and I asked him that. I said, "Let me ask you a question. Do you know what it takes to work for KPMG, all these big American for auditing firms? Do you know what it takes?" I said, "You need to Google it." You know that to work for them, it's not just being the best out of your class in your class. It goes beyond that. So for him to even work for them and to work for Mobiloy, you should know very well that he didn't just have any certificate. He must be above and beyond of his peers. So those are the things. And I said to myself that to some of our members, I say, I think what is lacking is that we are people that are supporting. We have a vested interest. Why are we not organizing things to really enlighten, to create awareness? Awareness is not done by just talking to your friends. It's by trying to show something. That's why I must commend you for this particular broadcast. It offers a lifeline as to some of the topics that the aspirants would like to share with our broader audience here in the US and also to Nigeria. So I know because of your time, so I will rest it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And while we're waiting for Mr. Loffin to round up the event, to round up the show, we'd like to still go back to our commercial, and we'll be right back after that commercial break, and then we can just have a round off of the event.
Yes.
Imagine a transformed Nigeria. Imagine a decentralized democracy. Imagine an industrial base with sufficient jobs. Imagine an agricultural base with food security. Imagine a decent livelihood. Imagine justice, peace, prosperity for all. Nigeria for Nigerians. Imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023. A progressive leader, a freedom fighter, a nation builder. Asiwaju knew. The difference is clear. Asiwaju is here. This message is brought to you by BAT Vanguard, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for President. Support Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023.
Hi, Mr. Loffin. So we want Mr. Loffin to just give us a final remark before we call it a day on the show. Mr. Loffin, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you clearly.
Yeah, well, we just want to thank all our listeners, those who have been able to log on to listen to us, and those who have come from the back end to also contribute positively, especially Mr. Ojo Akinde. I want to say thank you to you, and you're a wonderful person. I don't know you, but we are meeting for the first time, and I want to believe that we'll have a lot of things to do together. You have made a very brilliant suggestion and also recommendation, which of course I have noted them down, and I want to believe that I'll be forwarding into the campaign council for to look on it. So let's just keep hope alive and see that we have a better Nigeria, a Nigeria for all, a Nigeria that will be suitable to raise our children, and also a Nigeria that will be competing amongst other developed nations or developing countries in nearest future to come. So thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you so much. It's been great to have us on this very great conversation. We'll join you later in the evening while we give you, like I said, we'll give you undiluted Nigerian cross-cultural songs on this show. Thank you so much for everybody who has joined Honorable Lofi, and thank you, Mr. Kondiojo, for joining us.
Thank you. So I will give my